Hi, good evening. I'd like to welcome you to Poem Praise 2. I do thank you for tuning in, and certainly peace and blessings be upon you and your family this evening. Now, for this evening, we are going to get right back into How to Eat to Live, Book 2. We are now in Chapter 25, and the title of this chapter is Food Robbed of Natural Vitamins. And it goes like this. We must be careful of what we put in our stomachs, because what we put in our stomachs will maintain life and it will take life away. The world that we are now living in, as I have repeatedly written in this article, is a commercial world, which commercializes on everything on which they can make an extra dollar. The food that we eat is robbed of its natural vitamins and proteins. Do you want some vitamins and proteins? Go to the drugstores. There you will find them on the shelves in the drugstores in pills and in liquid form. Now, you may eat a lot of what you used to think was good vitamin and protein food, but those vitamins and proteins are not there in the food anymore. When the vitamins and proteins have been taken from natural food, parentheses, where nature put them and where they should be eaten, in parentheses, you then do not have the original pure vitamins and proteins. When the vitamins and proteins are chemically taken out of natural food, it makes the food less valuable. The chemicals used to take out vitamins and proteins from their natural place in food and the chemicals used to keep and preserve the vitamins and proteins make it not too safe for us to eat vitamins and proteins in pills and liquid form. It is a pity that the good food is robbed for the sake of a commercial dollar. Chapter 26. Do not ignore divine law. It is very hard to find pure food that is not poisoned by the enemy for the purpose of making it unfit for our lives. When the enemy has access to the food and freedom to do so, he admits that he has poisoned the poor old cow's grass and now has poisoned the water and the atmosphere, which is also hunting him. It is a shame. But as David says in his Psalms, let them be caught in the trap that they set for others. A man should pay for such evil planning against innocent people. He should suffer the same as that which he would like for the people to suffer. We have a just God on the scene today, and his greatest desire is to make everyone bear the consequences of their own evils. For the American white people to do such evil things against the lives of men and of animals, beasts, and fowls is a dirty shame. Eating one meal a day will prolong your life. Try and get the best foods you can and eat it in the name of Allah. This will prolong your life. If you eat one meal every 2 days, every 48 hours, you are adding more days to your life than when you eat 24 hours. But get away from that hog. Get away from grinding out your stomach with rough cornbread and with peanuts and all kinds of nuts. Keep these things out of your stomach. They will kill you and shorten your life, and will cause you to start looking old quickly. This is a nut civilization, the white world, because of their habits which were taken up for thousands years ago and beyond. When they were in the hillsides and caves of Europe, they ate the foods other wild beasts ate. This is why you see white people eating all kinds of food today. It is due to their inheriting it from their fathers. As you know, they will eat anything. Only a few of them reach 100 years of age, when they should be reaching 200 or 300 years of age. To ignore the divine law, which God has taught you and me, is to ignore your own life. Eat to live. Eat the right foods. Allah has said that no wild game should be eaten at all, regardless as to how you love deer meat. The deer is not good to eat. No game that runs wild in the woods or birds that fly, with the exception of the baby pigeons that have never flown away from the nest where they were born, called squabs, should be eaten. Please do not eat coons, opossums, turtles, turtle eggs, or frog legs. None of these are good for us. Milk and bread that has not been robbed of its value is good for us. If you must have some type of fat, take the fat from milk, butter. Cheese is also good for us. Some people will make a meal of cheese and eat it as though they were eating bread. But we should not eat too much cheese. Please do not eat cornbread and do not fry your foods. No nuts whatsoever should be eaten. Allah taught me that they take away 5 years of your life every time you eat them. And stop eating that concrete like peanut butter. Do not eat popcorn. Eat fresh corn in its milk stage, known as milk corn. And do not eat hominy grits. Do not eat crackers. As long as you have good bread at home, eat your own cooked breads. Eat crackers whenever you are traveling. This kind of food is made to keep you together until you can get to your own cooked foods. Eggs are all right to eat in some cases, but do not try to eat all that the hens lay at one time. In parentheses, this is smile in a book, so I just did a display of what I read with just smile. The next section is pig, pork, or swine. Chapter 27. Hog made of cat, rat, and dog. Eat 1 meal a day or 1 meal every other day if you are able to. And eat the food that Allah has prescribed for us. Stay away from the poisoned food that dresses the Christian's table. You do not have to eat every variety of food on earth to be healthy, for 2 varieties of good food is sufficient. There are good vegetables for you to eat, and there is good fruit for you to eat. And if you want some meat, there is good meat growing out there you can eat without eating the poison meat, the pig. The white man's greatest desire is that you do that which breaks the divine law by eating this poison flesh. Everything God says thou shalt not do. He says, thou shalt do. You watch him. He is not a friend of God, nor is he a doer or a lover of his law. They were made by nature to be opposers to God and his law and the righteous people. And you see, them living other than divine law. They are always in trouble, always sick, fighting and disagreeing with each other. No people should expect peace and contentment who are opposed to the law of God, our obedience to him that brings us into such conditions of life. Since God has exposed them and exposed the hog, they now will say to you, cook it thoroughly done, and it is all right to eat. It is not all right to eat if you cook it thoroughly and kill every pork worm there is in it. The actual flesh then is still poison and is divinely prohibited flesh that you should not even touch, not to think of eating it, for it was not made to eat. It was made for medical purposes for the white race, and I have taught you time and time again that God taught me they did not make the hog to be taken as a food, but made it for medical purposes. Since there is poison in it, the flesh of swine will cure most any kind of disease. Take a slice of this fatty and salty pork, and you have a bull on you someplace full of fever. Lay a piece of fat on it, and it will soon draw it out. It is a medicine, not a food. This is not all it will do in a curing way. I do not have time and space here to put this in this article, but the white man knows, and he will bear me witness that I am teaching you the truth of this hog. Medical scientists and our doctors are fast learning since I have been writing this article, How to Eat to Live, and are now cooperating with me and agreeing with me that the hog is a poison that we should not eat, though they may be eating it themselves. But they have to acknowledge the truth. Some of them are intelligent enough now for the last few years to start getting away from eating it. Who wants to eat the combination of these fleshes, cat, rat, and dog? This is what the hog is made of, the dog, cat, and rat. And the Bible teaches you that he is from a mouse. Read Isaiah 66:17. They that sanctify themselves and purify themselves in the gardens behind one tree in the midst, eating swine's flesh, and the abomination and the mouse shall be consumed together, saith the Lord. The so-called American Negro is a product of evil and filth, produced by the white man of slavery. He is more a true believer in the evils and filth of the white man than the white man himself. As it is written, Bible, when he, devil, made a convert, he makes him 7 times more the child of hell than himself. This is a so-called American Negro. He is turned into a person 7 times worse than he originally was. So do you think that you are divinely safe eating pork after you think you have cooked it so done, you have killed the pork worms in it, the flesh alone, not to say eating it, is divinely prohibited to touch? This the white man knows. But what does he care? He eats anything. Eat to live, and come follow me. And I'm going to end this take right there. And our next chapter that we're going to be coming into is going to be chapter 28, Hog Divinely Prohibited. So stay tuned to Poem Praise 2. I want you and your family to be blessed and have a wonderful rest of the evening. Until next time, peace and blessings be upon you from Poem Praise 2. Later, y'all.